10 shows, massive budgets, huge ratings, and then gone, canceled, forgotten, like they never existed. Today, we're counting down 10 sci-fi TV shows from the 70s that were incredible, then vanished. The series that defined childhood for millions, then disappeared from television history like they'd been erased from memory.
Coming one.
UFO, 1970 to 1971. Jerry Anderson spent years making puppet shows like Thunderbirds. UFO was his first live-action science fiction series, and American networks had no idea what to do with it. The premise was incredible. A secret organization called Shadow defends Earth from alien invaders in the futuristic year 1980. Moon-based interceptors launched to destroy UFOs. Submarine fighters patrol the oceans. Everything looked gorgeous with Anderson's signature production design. The moon-based women had purple hair and silver catsuits. The vehicles were sleek and futuristic. The tone was serious and mature, dealing with paranoia and sacrifice. This wasn't kids' stuff despite Anderson's reputation. British audiences loved it. American networks barely aired it, scattering episodes across different markets with no consistency. Only 26 episodes were produced before funding dried up. The show ended abruptly with no resolution, leaving Shadow's war against the aliens unfinished. But UFO's influence was massive. The production design inspired countless sci-fi shows. Anderson took what he learned and created Space, 1999. And decades later, UFO remains a gorgeous artifact of early 70s sci-fi ambition that deserves so much more.
We have the technology. We can make him better than he was.
The $6 Million Man, 1973 to 1978. Steve Austin, astronaut. A man barely alive. We can rebuild him. We have the technology. That opening narration is burned into the memory of everyone who grew up in the 70s. The $6 Million Man wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural phenomenon. Lee Majors became a television icon playing the cyborg secret agent with superhuman strength, speed, and vision. The slow-motion running sequences became instantly recognizable. Kids everywhere pretended to have bionic limbs. The show spawned the Bionic Woman spin-off, which was equally massive. 5 successful seasons, consistent ratings, merchandise everywhere. And then ABC canceled it in 1978 despite ratings still being strong. Why? They wanted cheaper programming and believed the concept had run its course. TV movies tried to continue Steve Austin's story through the 1980s and 90s, but it wasn't the same. The show ended without a proper finale, leaving fans wanting more. The $6 Million Man influenced action television for decades. Every cyborg character, every enhanced human, every secret agent with abilities beyond normal. They all owe something to Steve Austin. The show didn't vanish because it failed. It vanished because networks decided it was time, regardless of what fans wanted.
He has a right to know.
No! I will not have puppets going after the thing that killed his father. Spending the rest of his life as a warrior?
Battlestar Galactica, 1978 to 1980. ABC wanted their own Star Wars. Glenn A. Larson gave them Battlestar Galactica, the last human survivors fleeing from robot Cylons, searching for the lost planet Earth. And it was the most expensive television show ever made at the time. The pilot was a 3-hour theatrical movie that made decent money. The series launched with massive hype and strong ratings, but each episode cost a fortune. The special effects, the large cast, the ambitious scope. ABC was bleeding money every week. The show lasted 1 season of 17 episodes. Then ABC panicked and retooled it into Galactica 1980. One of the worst decisions in television history. The survivors find Earth in 1980. A kid genius and a warrior travel through time. It was terrible. 10 episodes and done. The original Battlestar Galactica ended on a cliffhanger with the fleet still searching for Earth. Fans were furious. The show disappeared into syndication, remembered mostly for its cheese and disco-era aesthetic. Then, 2004 happened. Ron Moore's dark, gritty reboot proved the concept's potential. The new Battlestar Galactica became one of the best sci-fi shows ever made, vindicating what the original tried to accomplish despite its campy execution and network interference.
And I shall keep killing them until they have killed me.
Buck Rogers in the 25th Century, 1979 to 1981. Captain William Buck Rogers, frozen in space for 500 years, wakes up in the 25th century. Gil Gerard played Buck as a wisecracking fish out of water. Aaron Gray played Colonel Wilma Deering, and Tweaky the robot said "beady beady beady" every 5 seconds. The show started as a theatrical movie that did well enough to greenlight a series. Season 1 was campy, fun, colorful space adventures with disco aesthetics and a sense of humor. Ratings were solid. Fans loved the chemistry between Buck and Wilma. Then NBC interfered with Season 2. They fired most of the cast, moved the show to a spaceship instead of Earth, and tried to make it serious like Star Trek. The comedy disappeared. The fun evaporated. Viewers abandoned it immediately. Buck Rogers was canceled mid-Season 2 with no proper ending. The show vanished from cultural memory except for that iconic theme song and people remembering Tweaky. What started as a fun space opera died because networks couldn't leave success alone. The campy charm of early Buck Rogers couldn't survive in the early 1980s when networks demanded everything be darker and more serious. Sometimes fun is enough. NBC forgot that and killed their own show.
You're not to say a word about this, you understand, Arno?
Why not, Father? It's so exciting.
It's dangerous.
Planet of the Apes, 1974. 5 Planet of the Apes movies made huge money. CBS saw dollar signs and greenlit a TV series. Roddy McDowall returned as Galen the chimpanzee. 2 astronauts crash on ape-ruled Earth and try to survive while searching for a way home. The show premiered with strong ratings. The makeup effects were expensive but looked great. The premise had endless potential, exploring this world where apes evolved intelligence and humans became primitives. CBS expected years of success. Then reality hit. Each episode cost a fortune because of the makeup. The stories became repetitive. Astronauts arrive in a new ape city, cause trouble, escape. Rinse and repeat. Critics called it boring. Ratings dropped fast. CBS canceled it after only 14 episodes. The astronauts never got home. The mysteries of this world were never explained. The show just stopped, leaving everything unresolved. Planet of the Apes. The series couldn't capture what made the film special. The social commentary, the shocking twists, the genuine darkness. It became a generic chase show with apes. The franchise continued with another short-lived series, but the concept didn't work on television's episodic format and limited budgets. The Starlost, 1973 to 1974. Harlan Ellison created a generation ship called Earthship Ark, a massive vessel carrying the last survivors of humanity in separate biodomes, each preserving different cultures. The crew is dead, the ship is failing, and 3 people from a peaceful agrarian dome discover the truth and try to save everyone. The concept was brilliant. Ellison wrote an ambitious, intelligent science fiction series that explored serious themes. Then, Canadian production company budget cuts destroyed everything. The special effects looked terrible. Cheap video effects that ruined the scale. The acting was wooden. Scripts got rewritten by other writers who didn't understand Ellison's vision. Ellison watched his creation butchered week after week. He quit, demanded his name be removed, and used the pseudonym Cordwainer Bird in the credits. His way of signaling the work was crap. 16 episodes aired. The ship was still dying. The mysteries were half explained. The show ended with nothing resolved. It became one of the most legendary production disasters in television history. Incredible premise murdered by incompetence and lack of resources. Quark, 1977 to 1978. Buck Henry, the genius behind Get Smart, created a Star Wars parody, before Star Wars became a phenomenon. Quark premiered in May 1977, 1 month after Star Wars opened. Nobody knew sci-fi comedy was about to become huge. Richard Benjamin played Adam Quark, commander of a United Galaxy Sanitation Patrol ship collecting space garbage. His crew included identical twin women, one a clone, who argued about which was the original. The science officer was a walking plant. The engineer was a coward. Every episode mocked sci-fi tropes brilliantly. The show was genuinely funny and clever. Critics loved it, but NBC aired it irregularly, bouncing it around the schedule. Only 8 episodes were produced before cancellation. The show never found its audience because audiences couldn't find the show. Quark vanished quickly, remembered only by comedy and sci-fi nerds who discovered it later, but its influence reached far. Red Dwarf borrowed the working-class space crew concept. Galaxy Quest echoed its satirical approach. The show was ahead of its time, proving sci-fi comedy could work years before anyone successfully pulled it off. If NBC had given Quark a real chance and consistent scheduling, it could have run for years. Instead, it became a footnote. The brilliant show almost nobody saw. Number 3. The Fantastic Journey, 1977. The Bermuda Triangle swallows a research ship. Survivors wash up on an island where time doesn't work correctly. They're trapped, moving through different time zones and realities, trying to find a way back to their own time. It's an incredible premise that NBC completely wasted. The cast kept changing because nobody knew what the show was supposed to be. Roddy McDowall joined mid-season as a scientist from the 23rd century. Each episode featured different time periods and civilizations: Atlantis, future dystopias, alien colonies. The world building had massive potential, but NBC buried it in a terrible Friday nighttime slot. Ratings never materialized. Behind the scenes was chaos. Different writers, no consistent vision, budget problems. The show lasted only 10 episodes before cancellation. The survivors never got home. The mysteries of the island were never explained. It just ended, mid-story, like flipping off a light switch. The Fantastic Journey should have been lost 25 years early. The concept of travelers unstuck in time, encountering different eras and peoples, could have sustained multiple seasons with proper planning and network support. Instead, it became a forgotten curiosity. The show with an amazing premise that nobody remembers except hardcore 70s sci-fi collectors hunting down VHS recordings. Number 2. Logan's Run, 1977 to 1978. The 1976 movie was a hit. CBS immediately ordered a series. Everyone dies at 30. Logan and Jessica run from Sandmen hunting them. They search for sanctuary while helping people along the way. Easy formula for episodic television, except the movie cast refused to return. The budget was tiny compared to the film. The sets looked cheap and unconvincing. The Dome City from the movie became a generic futuristic backdrop, and the stories became repetitive chase plots with no depth. The series premiered with decent ratings, riding the movie's popularity. Then viewers realized this was just another fugitive show. Logan and Jessica arrive somewhere, cause trouble, escape, repeat. The dystopian themes that made the movie interesting disappeared. Character development was non-existent. CBS canceled it after only 14 episodes. Logan and Jessica never found sanctuary. The mysteries about who created this society and why were never addressed. The show simply stopped, leaving everything unresolved. Logan's Run. The series is remembered as a massive disappointment, a movie franchise adaptation that stripped away everything that made the source material compelling. it vanished from television and cultural memory because it failed to understand what made its premise work. The movie endures. The show is forgotten. That's probably for the best. Number 1, Space. 1999, 1975 to 1977. The moon is blasted out of Earth's orbit by a nuclear explosion. Moonbase Alpha's 311 personnel become accidental space travelers, encountering alien civilizations and cosmic mysteries while searching desperately for a new home. It was Britain's most expensive television series ever made, and American producers destroyed it. Season 1 was dark, philosophical, and weird. Jerry and Sylvia Anderson created genuinely strange science fiction that asked big questions about humanity's place in the universe. Martin Landau and Barbara Bain brought serious acting talent. The special effects were theatrical quality. Critics compared it favorably to 2001, A Space Odyssey. Then, Season 2 happened. American producer Fred Freiberger, who killed the original Star Trek, demanded changes. More action, more humor, less philosophy. They added Maya, a shape-shifting alien who provided comic relief. The tone shifted from thoughtful to generic space adventure. Fans revolted. The darkness and intelligence evaporated. Season 2 felt like a completely different show. Ratings collapsed. ITC Entertainment pulled funding. After 48 episodes, Space 1999 was over. Moonbase Alpha's crew never found a new home. Their journey just stopped. Space. 1999 influenced Babylon 5, Battlestar Galactica, and countless other shows. But it remains a tragedy. A brilliant first season compromised by network interference that killed a potentially legendary series. Which show do you barely remember watching as a kid? Which one defined your childhood then disappeared like it never existed? Drop your answer in the comments. Hit subscribe for more forgotten television history. And smash that like button if you still remember any of these theme songs.